almost perfect fit. Just need to round it right here a little bit. That should do it. I'll go get the welders and burn her in. Well, it's a new day today. Just wanted to show you where we're at. I've got some of the top plate welded in here, right there on the bumper. I was playing with my TIG. I'm still learning how to TIG weld, so I did a little TIG welding down the side, and I tried TIG welding under this lip. Let me show you. Under this lip here, but because the arc is under the lip, my mask, my shield, kept lightening up. It's one of those auto darkening one, and it flashed me twice. Gave me a heck of a headache. So I'm going to take this off to finish welding that area right in here. But we are going to measure and put a plate down here from side to side. Now the winch won't actually sit on that. The winch bolts in here, but once that plate is under there to keep side to side all nice and stiff, I'm actually going to cut this section out, because you can see it is not straight. It's got some bends. It's been in here, it's been in there, and it was bad to start with, and I pushed out the center quite a bit with my press. But in doing the welding, I guess and cutting this hole here, it allowed the metal to go back where it was, because that's how it was when I started. So it doesn't look like the press did a thing. So I'm actually going to cut that out, and it's also bowed so the fairling and the winch don't mount flat. So after I cut that out, I'm going to weld this in. This is a 5-inch wide, which is exactly what the bumper is. 1/4-inch thick stock. I ran down to our local metal store, and I got these out of their cut bin, these two pieces. This piece of angle iron, we'll be using that for another project. But I go to their cut bin because the metal there is $1 a pound, which is a whole lot less than if you buy it off the rack and they cut it for you. It's closer to $3 a pound doing it that way. So that was an awesome score for me. The truck is used parts anyway. That's kind of what I'm calling it. And if I can get anything for a little bit better price, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get busy on this, and you guys can watch if you like. That piece is going to fit great under there. I need a piece 32 inches long, I believe is what I measured. Repeat that measurement. Measure twice, cut once, right? Not something I always do. 32.5 inches should do it. Might be just a little long, so we'll trim it shorter if we need to. Let's get a pen and mark this. I'll use the plasma cutter to cut it. I just find that to be the easiest thing to cut any of these steel. Heck, I can even use that as a guide. Set that right there and run the plasma cutter down it, and it's done. It takes longer to set up the plasma cutter than it does to use it. Needs a ground. Needs to be plugged in. And you need some sort of dark eye apparel. Probably gloves would be good too. If you're good at it, you don't throw much sparks up at the top. Make sure you guys can see it. This. Ooh. Can you see what I'm doing down there? I'm just going to set this right on there. Try to keep it from sliding. And I'm going to drag it right across that. Try to hack it off right at 32.5 inches. Maybe give it just a little bit of extra room. Let's go for it. Almost. There we go. We're gonna fall. Oh, good. Stay put. All right. That was an easy cut. Bring this torch over here. Did it cut it? Surely did. All right. There's an extra piece. A little slag on it. We'll just take the hammer and knock that off. Don't need these on anymore. Slag's gone. See how it fits. That is going to be perfect. That is going to be perfect. I'm going to clean up the edges, round the corner, call it good. Rounded these corners just a little bit where it's going to sit up against the bumper there, just because there's some welding that I did under there to weld the side plates on, and that'll just clear the little welding nub or the little weld there, and it should make it fit flatter, I'm hoping. Probably going to have to put a jack into there to hold this up. And I'm not going to try to TIG weld it. I'm going to MIG weld it. So let me put my TIG away, get the jack out, and get the MIG out, TIG out, and get. We are progressing. There is now a plate welded to the bottom here. And I'm going to cut out now a space where the fairling and the winch will fit in here without having this rounded area. And once that's cut out, I'll cut a piece of plate that fits right in that space. And I'll drill the holes for the fairling and all that sort of stuff right in the center of it. And hopefully that will do for that. Because right now this is a curved surface and indented in here, and when I mount the winch in here, it actually tips the winch back. Now I could cut it down here and fold this forward. That might work. Or I can just cut it out and put a flat piece in here. Of course, welding it into a curved section will be kind of fun, not, but I'll think about it a little bit more. And as soon as I get started on it, I'll show it to you. All right, decision made. We're going to cut this whole piece out. I thought of cutting down just halfway and bending it out flat, but I would have to do it from the other side too, because the winch mounting point goes down to about there. So we're just going to cut it all off, weld in a flat section. Hopefully with all the welds we've done here, nothing's going to move. If it moves too much, I'll just bend it back and weld it. But we're going to try the Sawzall first. See how that does through here. Should go pretty well. Oh, eye protection, always. Always, always, always. They're the only two you got. Probably should have looked at the blade first, maybe gone with a new blade. Oh yeah, there's teeth missing. Let's put on a new blade. I got lots of them. Another thing you can do while you're cutting with your blade is spray soapy water on it. Works the same as oil, but it doesn't get everything all oily. Remember when I mentioned about how strong the metal on the bumper was? Holy cow. Okay, well that's going to take forever. The metal on this bumper is pretty hard. Significantly hard compared to the teeth on my torch blade. That may be a plasma cut job. Okay, whenever you see sparks when you're using a Sawzall, it's because you're losing teeth. Not because the metal is sparky. Wow, I can't believe that. I've only made that little progress. Alrighty. Plasma time. I'm going to unbolt this, put it on my bench, cut it with a plasma torch. That is real steel. Now we can start fire with our plasma. Woo! Right down there, right down there. It'll knock some metal a little bit in the back here because I got it turned up pretty high. That's okay. Let me get some eye protection, some hand protection, and something to guide it along here. Trying to start the piece of wood on fire. Got a bucket of water over there if we do. Right there. Swap glasses. right at the end, you see those sparks come up? That's because it didn't burn all the way through. There it went. Made a hole in the fender, in the bumper there, but that's all right. We'll weld that sucker up. Nobody will ever know. And we didn't start the wood on fire. So, success so far. Let's do the other side. That's where we're going to cut it again. All right. Let's make that piece fall out of there. Right down like that. You guys ready? Get our glasses in place. Here we go. Now see that coming out there? I didn't go all the way through for some reason. Just slice over it again. I saw 2 spots that I didn't make it all the way through again. There we go. Plasma is the way. You saw how hard it was for me to try to cut that using my Sawzall, and we just buttered through it with plasma. Now I'm going to make a flat plate with a little bigger hole. 2 holes in the same place. Put it right across there. Because you can see now why the winch was having trouble mounting on such a curved surface. And then it's got this dent right here and a dent in the same place on the other side. I pressed those out with the press, but during my mounting and welding and grinding, they came back. So metal does what it wants. All right, I'm going to take all this off the bench, put on a piece, cut a piece, then you'll see me putting it in. Hey, where you guys got hot and the camera shut down, welded completely. Everything that needed to be. There's the front face we just put on it. Sorry, really noisy. You roll it over. So there's where the winch will mount, right there. It'll all get painted, of course, probably black, so it matches some of the black accents on there. Maybe part of it will be green, I haven't really decided yet. But she's all welded up, probably just a little bit of grinding on it, and we got to knock this old paint off because the new paint ain't going to stick to that. And then we'll bolt it on, and you'll be there for that, hopefully. Hopefully you don't get too hot again. But for right now, I'm hot, the garage is full of smoke, and it's time to go in. So get out there and work on your stuff. Even though it's 100 degrees, just drink a lot of water, guys. Have fun, be safe. Later. Hey, once again, my camera said it got too hot, which is surprising. I mean, it's only 94 degrees in here, really. So, you know, kind of odd that it would think it was getting hot. But it's the next day too, and I've been busy. Bumper kind of looks like it did before, but we did some bending down here. Yeah, there you are. Heated it up with a torch and bent it in. Added the bottom brace there, and then we're going to put some fill plates in here like this, and I think I might actually dimple die them. I'd intended to dimple die this, but I got ahead of myself and welded it in before I did it. It's 1/8 inch steel. Anything smaller and I can actually use a clamp with my dimple die and effectively dimple die it, but 1/8 inch steel, that's just too heavy. And I was going to put one right here too, but both those pieces got welded before I did it. So today, we're going to cut out the top pieces and dimple die them before I weld them on. And if you get too hot again, you're just going to miss it. But I'll try to catch you up later. get you at the right angle. There we are. We can see our table. We're going to do the plasma cutting again. You may have seen that already. They get rid of some things. Knock it down like that. Straight cut across. Love straight cuts. And this is the passenger side top. And this is the driver's side. Bottom. It just keeps them in a little better alignment for me, or in my head, wherever. All right, you've probably seen me use the plasma torch before, so I'm gonna get it set up and use it again. A tip for you when you're using a plasma torch, always set it so you can drag it toward you. It's so much easier dragging than it is pushing or anything, so I always set it so I can drag it towards me. It just makes it easier for me. And I always do a test drag to make sure I get where I want to be. And I've turned down the amperage and the air pressure a little bit, just because there was a lot of slag on the back of the ones I was cutting when it was only 1/8 inch plate. For the 3/16 and the 1/4 inch, you got to turn it up. It's a little machine. It's got to go up all the way. It says it'll do like 3/8. Yeah, if you go really slow. But we'll see how it does here now. Bump it over just a little bit. Here we go. That should have been a nice clean cut. And there it is. Let's put it over there for now. I'm actually going to cut this whole piece off, and then I don't have to deal with the other 4 feet of it over there that's leaning on my bench. Counterweight, just so it doesn't fall. It wasn't exactly the straightest piece. All right, let's see what happens. All right, you and I both saw the sparks come out in 2 different places, right there and right down here. And it did it again there for some reason, but that is going to break off without any problem. Let's check it and see. It's got a temperature of 103. Actually a lot more, but there we go. Now I'm going to get out my radius tool and I will do these, and then I will connect the dots. I think that'll be the easiest way to do it. So stand by. Let me show you my tool for cutting circles with my plasma cutter. It's right here. Now this has a set screw so it goes onto the front of my plasma cutter. It's got a wheel so it rolls, and then it's got a pin or a point that you can use a punch, put a dent in it, and put that in there and go to town going in circles. I like to actually drill a hole and run this screw through because I seem to pull this pin out of the dent I make and make a mess of it. We'll start right there. There we go. Screw and screw and screw and screw and screw. Alright, that may seem like a lot of work, but that's a nice smooth circle exactly where we wanted it. So I'm going to go ahead and measure 3.5 inches or 3 1/4 inches in here in a couple of places, drill the hole, make that same cut since I got this mounted on here, and that will be that for this part, and then it's a straight run through to the end again. Probably should show you what I'm doing when I'm filtering it up. Let me go to this side. All right, what I'm doing is I'm bringing my torch in until it matches the line that I've drawn. So I just bring it in, put it right over that line, put the torch right in the center of it, tighten it up. Now that I check it, I want to make sure that it's following my line fairly closely, and it looks like it is. I'm going to stop and get right there before we go too far. Still got my CAD tools here. Woo! The torch decided to fire up on its own. I'm actually going to start right here and drag it towards myself. I think that'll work just fine. Got one spot right there where I saw the sparks fly up. Just pull it through there again, and that looks pretty good. I'm going to pull it just a little bit this other direction. Right there. Those look pretty good. Air compressor's on. Let's go ahead and finish up with some straight cuts. Now that the air compressor's decided to be quieter, and since I'm going to be pulling right by my hand, I'm going to put on my gloves. Got a messy little spot there right at the start. There's one. That's really, really hot, just so you know. I don't think you had any doubt. Plasma is like cutting with the sun. It is the hottest thing around. Okay, you guys saw where I missed, right? Right there. Let's see if we can just nibble that little edge off. Got a corner here that should not be there. Just didn't go far enough around with my radius. Gone. What are you hanging on? Let go! Ah! Done. Actually, we've got a little bevel right here to take care of too. That's so small, I'm going to hit it with the grinder. Look out. The grinder will take that off without me making a mess with the plasma. That's what your tip looks like. You can see there's it's an X pattern across the front. That's to let the gases out in the air. Makes it a good straight cut down the middle. gonna put all this away and dress these up, and then we'll weld them on. I'm gonna keep shutting you off. You know, you just keep, you're gonna see snippets, I guess is what I'm saying, because the camera gets really hot in here and in its case, and I don't want it to shut off at something interesting. So I'm just gonna clean these up with a flat disc and get them ready, fit them on here, and then we'll put them on. I'm gonna wipe this off and we'll see how it fits in the Dimple die. All right, so that's our 1-inch hole, and this die should fit nice and smooth in it, and it does. So I'll deburr this, because you can't have these burrs on here and try to do that. And then I actually drill 3 more holes in this. I'm gonna put 3 of them in it, and then we'll smash them and you'll see how they look. All right, we're here at my jack, or my press, which also has my vacuum cleaner in front of it, my shop vac. And we got our Dimple die. We got our plate. I like to lubricate them while I'm pressing them. And we make sure we deburr these holes. Now I like to take a step bit and just hit it lightly on the top, and it actually bevels the edges pretty nicely. And then I'll even use a little deburring tool, you know, which you stick in the hole and round and round and round you go. And if there's anything that snags a blue towel when you wipe them, that's going to affect your Dimple die. So you don't want that. You don't want that happening. So wipe it off, make sure it's good. Stick this somewhere while I work on this piece. And this piece I've already deburred. Wipe it down, no blue towel sticks on it. Dimple die drops right in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the die on there, center of the plate, smash it. That should do the trick. I am going to lubricate each one as I do them, and I'm going to do the middle first. If I do the edge first, I mean, this is a big sheet of steel, so it won't matter. But if you start on an end on a thinner piece of material, it's likely to warp the whole piece of material. But when I Dimple die it here in the thick part of the material, or maybe even on this end because it's so wide and big, it's not going to distort the metal. It's just going to stiffen it up by giving it a dimple. So here or there, whatever. It even work here because the metal's so thick, or the metal's so wide. But we're going to start right in the middle here. A little bit of lube on it. There's a lot of oil on the die already. Then a whole lot of pumping. You can actually speed up the process. Take a big socket and put it in there, but I'm going to go straight down. It'll be fine. Now we're going to smash it until we're all out of room to smash. It is distorting the plate a little bit, but you'll see when it gets all the way flat and my 20-ton press is trying to bend itself, then we should be pretty good. Rise up just enough I can get that out of there, maybe a little bit more. Let's see how we did. Here's something you should do before you smash a Dimple die. You should look to see which way you're smashing. That's the top. I've never tried to smash one the other direction after I've done it one way. I'm going to try to flatten this and push it down the other way. Who knows? I certainly know that I should have looked which side was top first, because I wanted the dimples to go down, not up. And that one could have been smashed a little bit deeper. really. See if we can push it the right direction this time. All right, here we go. What I'm looking at is I'm looking at a gap between this plate and this plate and the bottom one. And the bottom one is where I see the gap. So we're just going to give it one more press. It's still got a tiny gap, but I got a lot of pressure on this. Probably the most I've put on it ever. So let's pop it up and see how it looks. Stop. There we go. That's what we wanted. Looks good. It's going the right direction. The plate's still flat. That's just what we're looking for. All right. Let's do another one. What have you guys been working on? Tell me what you work on. Shoot me pictures. Comment down below. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. I love to learn the right way to do things. Because Lord knows I do a lot of things the wrong way. Some of them I do the wrong way just because there's no other way for me to get it done. But some are on the wrong way just because I'm a little ignorant on the right way. All right, look at that, guys. 3 dimple dies in 1/8 plate. I'll squash the other one, bring you back when we're welding them all together.